My name is Kristen Johansen Weisheimer, and I love Boston Terriers. I believe that's putting it mildly, but I'm completely fascinated with them through and through, and part of my obsession over the breed definitely extends to collectible items. One of my favorite things to collect are Boston Terrier breed books of the vintage variety, typically predating the 1930s, extending all the way into the 1870s and 1860s. One of my very favorite authors ever is Vincent G Perry. He was also a Boston Terrier breeder, a Boston Terrier Club of America member, and a AKC breed judge, also all breed judge for the Kennel Club. He was around in the 1900s early on, as far as his book was published first time in 1928. And there are 4 different editions of it. All of these books are very special to me, and I wanted to share with you about that. I have long wanted to create a YouTube channel devoted to Boston Terrier Collectibles, more so of the vintage variety, and I also wanted to start a Facebook group. I've created everything, but I've never actually posted anything on the Collectibles YouTube channel, and I've never actually made the group public that I created a couple of years ago. It doesn't have anything on it, it's just there, and I have it hidden. So with all that said, I want to get into why these books are so important to me. And Boston Terrier by Vincent G Perry is a wonderful book that talks about where the breed originated. It also talks about structurally where the breed is when this book is published, where it has come from, and actually where it's going. And Mr. Perry had a wonderful idea of what the breed was going to look like in the future, and he certainly did a great job with his book. Obviously, like I said, the several editions and varieties of the book are numerous, so it's just evident of how important this book was. This is my personal most valuable book. It is a first edition print with dust jacket. I sometimes look through these, and I typically like to do it with gloves, but I don't have my gloves readily available. I tried to look for them and couldn't find them. But as you can see, this is a first edition, evident by the 1928 stamp. Also, it does state so on the bottom. Originally, this book was $2 at time of publication. This particular variety of the book is valued at closer to $400. Obviously, it is not mint condition. The spine is intact. The book itself is intact, but there is some wear on the dust jacket. Not so much of the book internally, which is wonderful. So there is that. This is actually a copy of the book without the dust jacket. If I need to reference it, I do come to this book. As the editions go along, there is information removed from it. I think it's just to be able to make room for the inclusions that they do tend to add. They added some new photographs of new dogs that had won previous to the original publication date of 1928. But again, you can see this book is also written in. So again, it is pencil. I could erase it, but again, that's degrading the value. You can see it's priced here at $45 when someone had it for sale. Again, someone priced it here at $35. It was signed by the person who originally had it. It looks like property of John Talon, I believe, but that decreases the value of the book. So, like I said, I tried not to erase anything in it, even if it's minimal. I don't want to hurt the book itself, but there's a ton of wonderful information in here. And like I said, the origin and the history is so complete and thorough. He includes some drawings of different ways that you can look at correct stifles, correct structure of the Boston Terrier itself, complete throughout the book. It's very, very well written, as I've stated previously. The second edition actually changed a bit as far as color scheme. They decided to go with the blue instead of orange. The book itself is blue as well. You can see that this book was very well loved by someone. Again, it does state the name of the person who did own the book previously. You can see the second print date was 1941. Again, this is the second edition, and it states 3,000 copies were produced. 1928's 3,000 copies were produced of it as well. So it's very interesting to see, like I said, what has changed. So the dust jacket on this one is not as great, so we're going to switch over to the one that I have without the dust jacket that I use to reference when I need to read and look through. This one is actually a little bit better condition. I should swap the dust jacket over to it, I suppose. But again, wonderfully written. Look at that, beautiful dogs. And again, you wouldn't see these in the first edition. These dogs were not photographed for the first edition. So they start to get better drawings, get better photographs, which is wonderful. It all helps us to learn. The third edition, actually, a little bit more eye-popping. They go back to the book being the orange color again, but they use a red decal or red illustration of a Boston Terrier. Please don't confuse the fact with this would include a bunch of information on red Bostons. It's just eye-catching. It's just to get people to, grab it off the shelves and purchase it. This is a very good copy. Again, it hasn't really been written in. I try to do my best to keep them as well as I can away out of the sunlight. So here's some more information. You can see the price is going up. It used to be $2 for the copy of the book, and now it's more. You can also see they have added some more in the table of contents in regard to the dogs that are photographed. And you see there's a big difference here. It used to just be about origin and history and very much the root of the breed, and now we've added development into here as time has progressed. So again, this book being printed in 1950, so about 10 years from the last printing. And I actually just have two with dust jackets, and that's why I believe I'm going to be parting with one of these books soon. It's going to be hard to part with any of them, but I kind of feel like I'm bogarting them at this point. So this book is actually the 4th edition. You can see they went back to the black illustration of the Boston. I don't know if there was any people that were disgruntled about the use of a red Boston, but it was changed. And this publication came out in 1959, so not even 10 years from the last one. And this one kind of goes over an overview of how many publications of this book have been printed. And, for the time, for this era, that was huge, especially a breed-specific book. It's highly commendable. I do have 2 of these, and I may be parting with one of these as well, yet to be determined. But again, like I said, I feel like I'm kind of bogarting them. So I have 2 more, and these are incredibly special for different reasons. And I actually found this book online on eBay, where I found a great deal of the items that I purchased for my vintage collection. And this one is special because it is signed by the original owner of the book, and it actually says, her address, but then included with this, it was purchased at an estate sale, and the people that sold it on eBay decided to include everything. And as you can see, the name of the dogs registered actually coincides with, I suppose it's the husband's name, John Ferry, on the book, but it is the last name. And what's so neat about this is actually there are multiple registrations, which is really neat. And this is just like a breeding record, which is actually like a pedigree. They used to give these out at like co-ops and stuff that people could, it was advertising opportunities. Sorry, it's a little windy outside. I was trying to use natural light. But at co-ops and stuff, dog food companies would leave these little blank pedigrees that they could take home and write them in so they could keep information on their dog. It looks like this one was printed for Keith's Wabash Valley Kennels, which is really cool. So, this is where we go back to pedigree research and the importance of some of these are just lost. Of course, they're in the AKC system, but there's nowhere the AKC has this stuff viewable for free. There are some websites, I believe like pedigreedatabase.com. They're free, but they're so littered with ads, it's really difficult for them to navigate them easily. But here's a neat one that somebody created. Again, a certified pedigree from Wayne Dog Food. And again, wonderful way to research pedigrees. You can see the really neat dogs in this pedigree. Iowanas and others. Those are really well-known dogs even to this day. These are not pedigrees on my own dogs. Literally, they just came with the book, and I'm just sharing what I have found. So very, 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 very neat. Something really cool to look through. And, you know, they didn't even have in the listing that this came with it. They just included it, and it blew my mind. So I have one more edition, one more book that I would like to show you, and this one is near and dear to my heart. And as soon as I saw it advertised on eBay, I snatched it up so quick. This person had other items that belonged to the Huddlestons, and if you know the Huddleston name, that's Art and Lil Huddleston, Arthur, and basically they were huge Boston breeders. Arthur has his own book. It's wonderful. If you ever see it available, definitely pick it up. But I did not scribble this out. It came like this, and it says, with all good wishes and many international champions, Vincent G Perry, November, and this was 2nd of 1952. So this particular book, even though it's written in, to know that it not only graced the hands of Vincent Perry, but also Art and Lil Huddleston, just blows my mind. It's a huge, huge, huge asset to the Boston Terrier breed and its history, and to know that it's in my hands just really blows me away. So it is my most valued part of my Boston Terrier by Vincent G Perry collection. Thank you all for listening, and you know, like I said, check out eBay. Sometimes these books are available on eBay for a wonderful price. Sometimes people just don't know what they have, and you can get a steal of a deal. But most of the time, people do know what they're worth. So remember, you might pay quite a bit for something, but it's very much worth having. The sentimental value sometimes outweighs the monetary value. Thanks so much for watching. I hope to be able to post some more videos soon, and hopefully a little bit more in-depth with the historical information in the future as well. If you guys have any suggestions, comments, questions, things you'd like for me to include in future videos, please let me know. I'd love to hear back. If you'd like to follow me on Facebook, you can find Cypress, Cypress, Johansen, Johansen. Thanks. Bye.